Lift your lid. Welcome to Swift Talk with Sherry Swift, helping you experience explosive growth, moving from where you are to where you want to be. Say no to mediocrity and yes to the life you want and deserve. Here is your host, best-selling author, performance coach, and speaker, Sherry Swift.
Welcome to Swift Talk with Sherry Swift. I am Sherry Swift, your host. Today, I am especially grateful to have a conversation about the necessity for healing and about the necessity for peace and calm in our world. And, you know, guys, let's just face it, especially today, while we are surrounded by so much conflict and so much turmoil, it just feels and seems like we can't turn on the news these days without finding, seeing, or hearing something that has the ability to produce and make way inside of us extreme concern and fear and negativity. And, you know, even if we weren't dealing with all of these terrible distractions and challenges in the world today, most of us, are working on a day-to-day basis, whether we work outside of the home, whether we work inside of the home, we are working on a day-to-day basis, very busy, very consistently to take care of things for other people. So we are pretty consistently challenged to maintain a peace of mind. I found out some time ago that peace of mind is non-negotiable for me. You know, I mean, it doesn't matter how busy I get. It doesn't matter how crazy things in my world become. It is a necessity for me to recenter myself on a very regular basis. So that brings me to our conversation today. I am super excited to be speaking with Rita Yevzelman, the owner of Integrated Healing. Rita practices the skill set of Reiki. I am super excited to have her on Swift Talk today as a guest, and I just want to spend a little bit of time talking with her about this skill set, about this treatment, and to find out what she can tell us today about how this can seed peace into our life. Welcome to Swift Talk, Rita.
Hi, Sherry. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored and really privileged to be here and talking to you.
Yes, I am so excited to have you here. So let's just jump right in. You heard me talking about in my introduction, the need, the necessity for peace,
yes.
The need and the necessity for recentering. Do you feel the same way about this?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. So tell me about Integrated Healing. Tell me about your company.
So my company about 20 years old, and about 20 years ago, learned Reiki, and it was casual. I just wanted to help myself, some health elements. I wanted to help my children, and it became really life-changing experience. I never thought I'm going to do it for people. My profession, my first job is a music teacher. I taught music at the university for a long time. And then along with that, I started doing energy healing. And Reiki, it's a Japanese healing system that really made my life different. It's not even just a modality. It's a different lifestyle. It's a different way to relate to reality. I learned how instead of reacting to reality, to be with it, to go with it, which produces lots of peaceful experiences.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. So Reiki is what you're practicing inside of your company, Integrated Healing. So tell me a little bit about what a Reiki session might consist of.
Reiki session, when people come here, I have a massage. I have very nice, soothing, beautiful office. I love my office. When people come in, usually have a little time to talk about, get information, what's going on, get to know each other. If it's a person. If it's not the first time, as people come back, of course, open, thank God, at helping them. I do spend some time talking and connecting and gathering more information. Then fully clothed people. They're laying on the table. I have a blanket. I have a heating pad, so it's very comfortable. Have very soothing music. And it's with a light touch, Reiki done with a light touch that I cover with my hands certain organs and major glands and body parts. And it's very modest. Touch is very light, very soothing, very interesting and peaceful experience. Usually after the session, people tell me that they feel lighter, more together. And sometimes people say sun is brighter and sky is bluer, feels and sees. So, and usually I take my time. Usually people in my office between an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half because I don't like to rush.
Okay. So is this a Japanese procedure? Does it originate from Japan?
Well, it was rediscovered. The healing art and art of Reiki is thousands and thousands of years old systems and practices. It was rediscovered by Japanese doctor Mikaya Usui in early 1900s. So it goes right now as a Reiki, as a Japanese healing system. So I do teach Reiki also. I do teach Reiki classes. There's 3 levels that I teach, and then there's a 4th level when a person would like to learn how to teach. I don't teach that level. I send people to my teacher because I don't feel like I have time and quality to teach teachers. Maybe one day. But I do teach 3 levels of Reiki.
So when you say you teach 3 levels of Reiki, are you saying you teach the actual therapy to people
Yes.
or you teach the lifestyle?
No, I teach actually therapy. I do it as a practice. People come to me to receive Reiki treatment. And some people want to learn how to do it because anybody pretty much who's interested can learn how to do it. So I teach classes for those people who want to learn how to do it themselves. You can work with Reiki on yourself. You can work with Reiki on others. And majority of people wants to learn it to work on their family members and on themselves. And I love it. I love teaching it. I love people's experience. Some of my students became Reiki practitioners and they practice Reiki. Some just do it for their families and friends.
You know, I'm going to tell you, I love this, Rita, and I'm going to have to come and see you and have a Reiki session.
I would love to see you too.
I'm going to have to do this. And I love the sound of this so much because I am a true believer that we are 100% in control of our reactions and in control of how we respond to things. I believe that whatever the universe is bringing to us, we are calling into us. And so very often we're putting out negativity and we're allowing for these negative things to come into our world, and we can't explain or understand why these things keep happening. And what we very often don't understand is that we're drawing these things into us. This sounds to me somewhat similar to what your teaching and skill set is. Is that true?
Yes, you described it beautifully. That's exactly what I'm trying to help people to do, to change the relationship with reality, because it's going to come. And if we stubbornly trying to change it, then we're in trouble. Then the negativity comes and resentment. And if we learn how to go with reality, it becomes smoother. Even the hardest parts of our lives become not as horrible as they could be, because of our relationship with it.
Absolutely. So what you are teaching and what you are manifesting for people is tolerance and basically understanding that, like you said, things are going to happen that may not always be your most favorite option, but we all have a decision to make in those moments as to whether or not these things are going to take us down or whether they're actually going to make us the next best version of ourselves. I can't wait to come and see you. Now, let me ask you this. would you consider Reiki to be a holistic approach?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's totally holistic approach because it works with the body and mind and the spirit and emotions. It's all whole body system involved, from physical to spiritual. And it's a beautiful teaching. It teaches how to love people, how to see the beauty in each person. And it cannot be any more than holistic than that to be able to do it.
Think about massage. So a traditional massage, because, I'll go and get a massage once a month. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when we think about traditional massage and we compare that to Reiki, how do those two things compare, or do they compare at all?
It's hard to compare it. I wanted to learn how body works. So I went to massage school to learn anatomy, physiology. And as a whole process, I took massage courses. So I'm a licensed massage therapist, and it's very handy, because sometimes I need to address certain things, and that gives me a chance to work on people with deeper knowledge of muscles and systems. But massage involves naked skin and sliding your hands against the skin. It's like a definition of massage. So I also have in my office everything if I need to work with a massage technique. I graduated from my Myomology Institute. So it's a different things, but I can combine them. I like actually to combine those together. So if somebody comes and I feel and I hear from people that there's something going on physical, really deeply physical, that I might be able to help them using some massage techniques, I would do that. And I listen to the body. If body wants me to do that, I will do it. But if somebody says, well, I want this to be rubbed or to dig deeper, and body says, no, I'm not going to do it. So I'm just kind of like very, very, very attuned to the body needs. And it's something I don't know how I do it. Some things you learn, some things you just get,
Yeah, and I get that. I'm sure that Tina shared with you that I'm a business coach, I'm a performance coach. However, I specialize in growth with all of my clients from the inside out.
Yeah.
Which means that I believe totally, completely, and certainly that we are not eligible for the next best level of who we are supposed to become until we deal with some things that are keeping us from stepping into that opportunity. So this sounds a lot like we're doing very similar work. We're helping people to face whatever's in their way, whatever the true thing is that's truly in their way, so that they can make way for their next opportunity.
Exactly. I love what you said. It was beautiful. It was just beautiful.
So tell me a little bit about what people might be coping with that are coming to see you, Rita. Like when someone comes in and says, okay, I need a Reiki session, what might they be coping with? Give me a couple of examples so that as my listeners are listening and they're figuring out, should I go see Rita? Where are people when they come to see you?
Well, I work with lots of anxiety in people. I see it all the time, and anxiety creates bodily issues, tension. Stress really kills us, unfortunately, and that's what people come with: confusion, unhappiness, anxiety, depression, body issues, body pains. Some people come with, I work with people with cancer. What I do really helps people to go through therapy. I also don't consider myself alternative person. I consider myself complementary, doing complementary medicine, because I believe in combining everything and finding right combination for each person. So I work with people who go through chemotherapies. I work with people to just help their body to heal. And unfortunately, I see lots of anxiety in people. That breaks my heart. But, Reiki and other modalities that I combine with, it helps. It really, really helps people to be more peace with themselves and with reality. And that heals body. Pain goes away. It's amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think it's absolutely beautiful that you are a complementary service. I thank you for pointing out that you're not alternative to medicine, you're complementary. So when you have a client that is healing themselves through traditional means from cancer or even from mental illness, and I'm sure you see that from time to time,
Yes.
and they're healing themselves through traditional medicine, but they still have anxiety. So your complementary approach to this, it sounds like you're saying that you're helping them to deal with their reality and to move through it with the best piece available based on what the circumstances are. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
How fantastic, how wonderful to have that as an option, to be able to say to people, listen, I understand what your reality is now. Let me help you through that. 25 years ago now, I had a tragedy in my life, Rita, where my father and mother died just 3 days apart.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And I was a pretty young woman when this happened. And it was tragic. And to have had someone like you at that time to be able to say, you know, I completely understand where you're coming from. And this is a real scenario and it's a real situation. And I'm not here to take anything away from it, but let me help you heal from the inside on this. What you're doing for people, I think, is beautiful and it's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just doing my best, what I can, because I've been in suffering also, and we're all human beings. We go through things together.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. So talk to me a little bit about, if I'm coming to see you, how many services on average are people coming to see you for? So is it like a 4 treatment type of process? Is it a 3 treatment type of process? Or is it just kind of individually based on whatever their circumstances and situation is?
I think that the last one, that's individually. I usually don't suggest unless people ask. So, it's individual for each person. I have a number of people who come every week. That's how they deal with their stress. It helps them unload and then move on. There's probably 80% of my practice every other week people come. There's some people come once a year, once a month. And again, it's all dependent. I understand it's money, it's time. And I never push anybody. I can suggest, but I can always understand where people are coming from, and I'll work with the situation, with the person. If they can only come once every 6 months, that's fine. I'll do my best. I have a big network of people that I'm working with, different modalities, different practitioners, doctors, therapists, and I always happy to help them to find the right match.
So, because that was going to be my next question, I was going to ask you, who are your clients? Are these professional people? Are these housewives? Are these young people? And so I think I just heard you say you work with a lot of professionals, doctors and therapists who might be walking around just heavy because they're carrying around other people's things. Huh?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I have all kinds of people. It's very interesting. From children love Reiki. Children absolutely enjoy Reiki so much. It's like natural for them to feel it. And I work with all kind of people. And sometimes if I feel like it's not the right match, I will refer a person to somebody else. But it doesn't happen too often.
What's the youngest age child that you've actually performed Reiki on?
Babies. I help deliver babies sometimes for my clients. Yeah.
You're actually part of the childbirth process.
Yeah, there's a couple of my clients that wanted Reiki. It relaxes them so much that they wanted me in a birthing room, and I asked doctors. I'm always very respectful, and when doctors don't mind, they usually tell me, just don't tell us what to do, and I would never. I'm there and I help, and it does help. And to see that birth, I mean, my God, I get so much benefit from it myself, no matter how tired I am, to see that moment of birth, like God comes to the room. But yeah, definitely. Babies, any animals, animals, love Reiki. You can perform Reiki on plants. Anything that has an energy benefits from Reiki.
Okay. That sounds amazing. It really does. And now I'm, just completely like in awe of, because I can imagine how this process and this procedure would really calm a woman who is working her way through natural childbirth. I can see how that would be extremely complementary to that process.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, when first time I went to do it, I was kind of skeptical myself, like, really? But it worked amazingly. Even doctor felt something that came to examine the woman. He was checking how open she is, and I was holding my hand on her back, and he said, "Oh my God, can you just take your hand off because I'm falling asleep here as I'm examining her." It was really funny.
Wow. Okay. I don't know who can't use that kind of peace in their world. I mean, let's just keep it real, I mean, all of us use a little bit of that. Talk to me about Reiki and spirituality. How are those things combined? Are those two separate things? Do they support one another? Talk to me about that a little bit.
Yeah. They are very, very supportive each other, because there's the principles of Reiki. One of the principles, just for one day, be kind. For just one day, be honest. It's just very beautiful spiritual principles in Reiki. Some people look into it and see because of the Dr. Sui, who rediscovered it. He was a theological professor of theology. That sometimes people think it has to do something with religion, and it's really nothing like that. But, lots of religious figures use Reiki, use healing. So that's why sometimes there's a confusion. But it has a spiritual principles, but it has nothing to do with religion at all. But it's a beautiful beautiful teachings about kindness and love and honesty and integrity. That's all about that.
Okay. I like to tell people all the time, I truly believe that spirituality and religion have absolutely nothing to do with each other anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. So if we wanted to learn a little bit more about Reiki, how would we, first of all, spell it for me, would you?
It's Reiki. Reiki.
Okay. And is there a book? Is there anything that if any of my listeners wanted to go study the practice a little bit more, is there something that they could read or?
Yeah. So the best book actually just came out recently called Reiki for Dummies. And it's really,
okay.
It's really informative, and I love that book. It's very nicely written, very informative, and very correct, because there's lots of books that are just, there's a very good book called Reiki for Life. It's a wonderful book. Online, there's a lot of information. Major hospitals already using Reiki practitioners there. I know that Beaumont Hospital has a whole Reiki system. They're teaching it there. Henry Ford Hospital also. So there is a lot of information online. I would be selective what to read when it comes to information, But that Reiki for Dummies is a really good book for beginners to just understand what it's all about. It's perfect.
Okay. Well, I have to tell you, I couldn't be more excited about scheduling my Reiki session. We are definitely going to get that in before we head away for holiday, because I just could stand to be loosened up and adjusted a little bit before we.
Yeah, I think you will love it. I think you will really love it.
Yes, I look forward to that. So tell me this, how would my listeners find you? How are they going to find you? How do they schedule their Reiki session? Give us a couple of different ways that they can find you.
Okay, so I'm kind of old-fashioned person, and I do answer my phone. I also answer my text. So the best way to reach me is to call me or text me at 248-701-9844. You can email me at Rita Yevzelman at Comcast.net. That's the best way to reach me. But usually I'm very good at answering phone calls or returning it because I'm busy. I usually return phone calls as soon as I can. I'm located on Orchard Lake Road in West Bloomfield. My address is 7115 Orchard Lake Road, and my suite number 140. It's very easy to find. It's a little construction going on right now, but it's almost over, I hope.
And so that's because this is a nationally syndicated podcast. That's West Bloomfield, Michigan, right?
Michigan, yes. And so I have a beautiful office. We designed it to be able to teach all 6 classes here. So it's spacious, very warm. Love it here. Also, I have an acupuncturist working with me. Wonderful, too. So please call and email, text, and we can talk.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, to all of my listeners, I'm going to include Rita's phone number, her contact information, and most importantly, her first and last name spelled correctly with her email address on the podcast notes. So I would encourage that you please take a look at the podcast notes so that you'll know how to reach her correctly. I am so grateful that you all are here with me on this journey, and I want to invite you to connect with me on Instagram at Swift Talk or at Swift Transitions for upcoming episodes and series, and an opportunity to win a 25% discount on a Reiki service. Isn't that right, Rita?
Yes.
So if we can get our first 2 listeners to respond, and you can email me at swifttalk@sherryswift.com and just tell us that you'd be interested in experiencing this service. Our first 2 emails will be gifted a 25% off of the service fee for this amazing service. Thank you so much for gifting that to us, Rita.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
I'd like to invite all of my listeners to please visit me on my website at www.sherryswift.com to read my blog on this episode and learn a little bit more about my Reiki experience, because as soon as I have it, guess what? I am going to right away. So please take a look at my blog on my website so that you can find out about my experience. Since we are focused on peace and healing here, I want to encourage that we all, during this tumultuous and challenging time that we're experiencing these days, take a few minutes, as Rita said, to just be kind, to just be still, and to just be humble, to give back as much as we have the opportunity to, and to receive as much love as we are worthy of. I want to thank you for listening today. Life is simply delicious. Let's enjoy a great big slice of it together. Till next time.
You've been listening to Swift Talk with Sherry Swift. If you would like to schedule time with Sherry, download the show notes and much, much more. Find it all at www.sherryswift.com.